there again everyone, Leanne here from Leanne's Loopy Library, and welcome back to another video. So today I just want to wrap up January and let you know everything that I read, things that I DNF'd, and just to let you know how it went as a whole, wrap it all up, and so that we can jump into February and start, well, I've already started reading in February, but you know. So January wasn't the best month for me reading wise. I did manage 5 or 6 books I think, but like I DNF'd a lot, I DNF'd 3 books, which is a lot for me. I hardly ever DNF. But then again, I have made it a goal to do that if I'm not enjoying something, so I just wanted to get that out there. If I'm not enjoying something, I will either DNF it for good if I don't like it, or if it's just not the right time for me to read a book yet, I'll put it down and save it for a later date, like soft DNF it. So I will pull up my journal up on my tablet and I will screen record and show you everything I read that month basically. So this is my January Tbr sheet. So this was everything that I wanted to read in January. These are the things that I did on my TBR game or I did on myself. I think all of these were just TBR game books. Let me just count. I read 1, 2, 3 of those. So I did go and veer off of my TBR game books in January just because I wasn't feeling it in January at all. So hopefully it'll get better from here. So the first book I went ahead and read in January was The Kingdom of Copper, which is the second book in the Dowry of Blood trilogy, and this is by S.A. Chakraborty. This is my spread for it. Yep. So I really enjoyed this book, gave it 4 stars, so it was a good read. This is a story all about genies, jinn, all of that kind of good stuff, and I definitely agree that it gets better in the second book. The first book was fantastic anyway, but it did, like the continuation of the story was really cool. So I'm really hoping that the third book is also another really cool story and the continuation is fabulous again. And I do look forward to seeing what happens next. So all in all, had a really good time reading The Kingdom of Copper. The next thing I read was Sarah J Maas's House of Earth and Blood, which is the first book in the Crescent City series by Sarah J Maas. This is my really pretty spread for it. I'm quite proud of this one. So I rated this 4 stars. I would say this is my least favourite of all of Sarah J Maas's like worlds, simply because it's urban fantasy, and urban fantasy isn't like high on my fantasy love list, I guess. But I did really enjoy it. It took me about a quarter of the book to actually get into again because of the urban fantasy setting, but once it got to a certain point I did actually really enjoy it. The characters were really cool. I think I liked the side characters more than the mains, but you know, it was still a really good book all in all, and I did enjoy it. And I am looking forward to reading the second one in February, so when it comes out. So good enough for me to carry on and everything. I think it's a low 4 star, but yeah, I definitely did enjoy it and I liked where it went, and I liked that I didn't read the blurb, which is incredibly spoilery for the first part of the book. Like the actual first part of the book, it spoils completely. So if you're gonna read A House of Earth and Blood, don't read the read up for it, because it spoils it, and the book went by so much better with me not having read that. So don't read the blurb for this one. Why do so many blurbs right now have so many spoilers? It doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, when I finished Crescent City, I went and read the Hodgkin. In fact, I think I tried to read Empire of the Vampire before this, and though I was enjoying it, I don't think I was enjoying it. Like, I don't think it was the right time for me to read it. I wasn't taking it in very well, so I just pushed that to the side for now. I'll come back to it at a later date. But then I went ahead and picked up the Hodgkin, something I was comfortable with already. I already knew the world, I already know the characters, so this was a fabulous read. So I gave this 4.5 stars, as I would, because it was these books are great. Again, love the characters, love the world, I just love how the story's going and the direction it's going, so I am very, very excited to read the 4th and final book, hopefully in February too. So moving on, I read The Darkness Outside Us, which is the Fays and the Gays book club pick for January, and I rated this 4 stars. In fact, I did try to read 2 other books before this, I'm pretty sure. Let me just remember what they're called. So I did try to read We Have Always Been Here by Lynn, which is the pick for the Interstellar Book Club. Couldn't get into that either, so I DNF'd that. And then I tried to read In a Dark, Dark Wood, which is by Ruth Ware. It's a mystery book. It was for the Enchanted Book Club. Couldn't get into that either. The main character was incredibly whiny and I just didn't like following her, so I DNF'd that. And then I read The Darkness Outside of Us, which I'm so glad I did. This was a beautiful book and I really did enjoy it. Rated it 4 stars, probably higher up on the 4-star scale, though not quite 4.5 for me. I really liked where this went, and it went in a completely different direction than I thought. Again, I've never read a book quite like this, so it was a whole new cool experience for me and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Basically it's about 2 men who go into space, wake up on the spaceship and have no idea what's going on. All they know is that they are supposed to rescue one of the main character's sister, who's like on a planet who needs rescuing. Can't quite remember why, but they're on a mission to go and rescue the sister. There's AI involved who tells them everything that's going on and keeps the ship going, but then it goes into a really cool direction that I was not expecting, so I thoroughly enjoyed this book. And then I read The Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Lynn. I had an arc of this. I did finish it late because I was like reading it over the course of the month, and I finished it late on in the month. So I rated this a 3.5 stars. This book has been so hyped all over BookTube, all over the internet. Everybody wants to read it. And I'm not saying it's hyped by specifically loads of people who have read it, because again, it's only just come out. But it's on everybody's, like, the top of everybody's TBR. Everybody's excited to read it. For me, it was lovely. I enjoyed reading it. It wasn't a bad book at all. But for me, I feel like it was a bit too tropey and it had too many tropes that I just spotted. I thought it was going to be a bit more adult than it was. It ended up reading kind of a borderline between teenage and YA, which I wasn't expecting. So I feel like I had different expectations, and when I was hoping to read something a bit more adult and it was reading as something more like a teenager would like, I don't know, my expectations weren't hit very well, so I don't know if I'm being unfair there, but again, the characters were lovely and I enjoyed where the story went. It's a debut, I know, so it's fine. More books will probably come out by this author and be better. So I would read Lynn Tan's works again in the future and see where the story goes even. But again, 3.5 stars for me. It was good, it was okay, and that was it. So then I moved on. I was a bit iffy about choosing Dowry of Blood because I'd already DNF'd a vampire book this month. However, this was my favourite book of the month. I loved Dowry of Blood so much by S.T. Gibson. I gave it 5 stars. It was beautiful. It was written so wonderfully, and it took my whole heart. It was written from the perspective of one of Dracula's brides, so he has 3 brides. Dracula's name is never mentioned in the book, by the way. It's just kind of, it says it on the blurb. But she vows to never even say his name so that he's forgotten by history, basically. but it's from the perspective of his first bride, and she's telling it as like a story, as like a journal type thing. That's how it seems. And she tells it from when she became his bride, and then onward from there. It's just got so much good stuff in it, and I really enjoyed it. That I would say there's a trigger warning as well for abuse. So if you're triggered by any kind of like spousal abuse, I guess, stuff like that, maybe don't read this. Otherwise, this is fantastic. Oh, and it is like a major plot point of the book, so it was just so good. And I loved the three brides. They were fantastic, and I really, this was so wonderfully written. I can't gush enough about it. But this was the last book of the month that I read, and my favourite. So I ended January on a positive, and I'm hoping, well, it seems so far that it's got me straight back into the mindset of reading some really good books. And yeah, I'm very excited to not be in a slump anymore. Thank God that didn't last, because 3 DNFs a month just isn't me. So I'm so glad I read this, because I was just going to leave it on my shelf for a while, because I only bought it recently, so I was going to try and read some older books first. But I am so glad I picked this book up. It was amazing. Like I said, my favourite book of January. I also have now anticipated releases for January. So I read Daughter of the Moon Goddess because I had it as an ARC. But there are a lot of other books that I want to look into getting at some point. Try not to spend money, but failing drastically so far. And then I have like a video tracker. I haven't been home in January very much, so there haven't been many videos. And then these are the books that I read in January, so if you want to see them as an overview of what I got to. So I did read 6 books, and all the ones that I finished were wonderful, or very, very good at least. So I suppose I had a good reading month in the fact that the ones that I've completed I enjoyed. But I did, like I said, I DNF 3 as well. So yeah. So here's an overview of the books that I purchased in January. I think I was quite stressed in January, and you can tell by the amount of books that I bought, because yeah, I did a lot of retail therapy for books because I was stressed. As you can see on there, I did buy Gideon and Harrow. You know I already have these books, but I saw them online signed, and mine aren't signed. I really, really wanted them, so I've ordered them. I do not have them yet, and I will show you the signed editions when I get them. I'm so excited to receive those books. My favourite. Yes, I really need them, so I bought them. And that is everything for January. That is my wrap up, guys. Here is a glance of what I want to read in February. I know I've already done like a TBR video, but there are only 3 books on that because I had a stressful January and I just want to get to books that I want to get to instead of playing the game for them. So at the top are the 3 books that I got for the TBR game. So that's Light from Uncommon Stars, The Mother and Night Brothers, and House of Sky and Breath. And then I want to try and finish Fires of Heaven by Robert Jordan because I'm still on that book. I've also borrowed Immune by Philip Detmer from the library, which is going to be my first non-fiction book in ages, and I'm actually really enjoying it so far, so far so good. Then there's Bluebird, which is an ARC I have on my Kindle, as well as Scorpica, which is an ARC I have. So these are 2 books that I'm reading early. I think Bluebird might have already come out by now. So I think I'm past that, but yeah. There's also Circe and Sorrowland. I've already read Sorrowland at this point, so yes. So that is everything for January and the beginning of February, like going into this month. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know if you are reading any of these books or have read any of these books, if you've enjoyed them, what you thought, if you're planning on buying any of them. talk to me in the comments. I love to hear from all of you. It's very nice when I get some comments, so go ahead and chat in the comments with me. That would be wonderful. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, TTFN. Bye!